Yes, Morphi, it's a very good point actually, because the teachings we're studying and learning at the moment, on my website I point to the technology web page, twominds1choice.com. It's on the top of the page up here. They're talking about the cosmic alignments and everything, how everything flows from a central point and is working almost like a clockwork, but it's sort of timing cycles and energy distribution through, say, a galaxy. The core of the galaxy would distribute light energy streams in certain timing sequences to the stellar systems, and the stellar systems in the galaxy would distribute to the planets around each sun in the galaxy. So there'd be certain alignments, and how this happens is, just like you have a north-south, what we call a staff in your body, it's a north-south staff of energy. You have an east-west, goes through the arms. So if you put your arms out like a cross, you would have east-west running through there, and you've also got a front-back that run through the metagalactic gateway of your own biological anatomy at the Azare, which is just above the heart chakra anyway, below the thymus, or just above the bottom of the thymus. The thymus gland is sort of like just in the chest there, about 2 or 3 inches down from that little notch in your neck. So if you sort of saw it as your metagalactic gateway, every planet and every sun also has a north-south pole, east-west chamber, and front-back chamber. And if you saw the revolving of the Earth sort of spinning around, and all of a sudden the front-back chamber lined up with the sun's front-back chamber, there would be a flow of energy from the sun front-back chamber into the Earth, into the core of the Earth, and it would be distributed out through the fields of the Earth to supply the species of the Earth with energy that comes from the sun as far as the core of the sun, right? Now the core of the sun got its energy from the core of the galaxy. The core of the galaxy gets it from the metagalaxy and up to cosmic realities. So there's a distribution of life through timing cycles in through all matrices. Now the black hole alignment is what we call our parallel universe. We've got a particle universe here, and we've got an antiparticle universe existing in the same space. So exactly in the same space we have an antiparticle universe. So there's an antiparticle Earth, there's an antiparticle Sun, there's an antiparticle galaxy, and everything else. So the antiparticle galaxy, which is a fallen state in some of the sectors in the galaxy, is got a vortex energy matrix which has caused a time rip technology or wormhole technology coming through the center of the galaxy, which is also aligning with spiraling energies to virtually line up with systems that would work through the core of the sun, for example, and would line right up and vortex energy siphoning system take energy out of the Earth in certain time cycles. Well, the black hole time rip technology for 2012 is lining up from the core of the galaxy on the parallel galaxy with our sun to vortex energy siphon our Earth at a certain time at 2012, and it is a forced time rip. You might say time has been pushed back to make that alignment come true, and that was put in place by what we call the Mother Mayan Matrix, which encompassed a lot of temple networks through South America, North America, right round the other side of Korea, Vietnam, Singapore, right round to almost the top of Australia. There's a network of temples that were actually bringing in the codes to harness into the Earth, or to anchor into the Earth, this early black hole frequency timing that was pulsing in the Earth to bring Earth back in time cycles to align with a previous alignment, which was 10,000 BC, when a perfect alignment for black hole vortex energy system siphoning was actually aligned. And what happens is that compressing time into that time spot, so that through the matrix of the Mother Maya matrix, Earth consciousness was actually aligning with black hole technologies. Now the Earth is lined up for this now. It's been happening for quite a long time, but the sun itself, what we call the prana seed, or the breathing core seed atom of the sun, has been destroyed by alien interference, intruder race lines that, well, there's a lot of people living on the sun, a lot of race lines living in the sun. The sun's not hot, by the way, only the radiant spectra that comes out from the sun is hot, and we pick it up in our magnetosphere here. Every planet is supposed to evolve to become a sun, and that's why when you look into the galaxy you see stars, they're actually planets that became suns, right? So the seed atom in the center of the sun is shut down on its parallel side. So the parallel Earth sun, or the parallel sun, is shut down, and our sun cannot breathe with the parallel sun, and therefore the lining up of any living spiral energies that are coming through, say with the black hole alignments from the core of the galaxy, the living spiraling energies which would normally come to replenish everything are finding a blockage in the center of the sun, and we cannot really receive true energy streams from the sun anymore. So the sun itself is having a ring collapse. The 15-dimensional structure of the sun is collapsing one ring at a time, and that occurred on the 25th of March 2007. The aliens shot out the seed atom of the sun. It's in a death throe, it's dying. It's got probably maximum 1,000 years life before it totally implodes. And the Earth also being symbiotic with the sun and all the other original planets, 12 original planets around the sun, they also having symbiotic relationship with the sun, are also moving into very, very strange energy patterns. You can see it when you even study David Wilcox, for example. He tells you about all the strange anomalies happening on the planets. Because it's the sun, it's going into a ring wave collapse, and coronal mass ejections are probabilities and realities. So we're actually picking up a stream of energy now to upgrade our systems from what we call a trimatrix host, which is 3 places in parallel adjacent cosmic structure which are hosting us in a stream of energy, and it's called the crystal river flow, to bring through new codes of ascension so that we can actually receive living light energy upgrades into our structure whilst the sun is going into a death throe. And that's why there's 200 years evacuation notice on the planet. Right? So it's quite wonderful, and the teaching is very, very explicit. I'm just going to type in the room where you can find this technology link on my website so that you can actually investigate it for yourself. It's www. This is my website, 2minds1choice.com/technology.html. Sorry, I got that wrong. I put a comma instead of a dot. I'll do it again. www.2minds1choice.com/html. Right, that's got it that time. Okay, so this is where the energy is coming from. These teachings are coming through in this current stellar activation cycle. The fact that it is a forced 2012 black hole alignment that's been forced upon it. The normal 25,556 year timing cycle of what we call Stargate alignments or planetary ascension cycles, stellar activation cycles, that would normally be occurring every 25,556 years, where there would be a 10-year opening of the gates, ascension cycle on the planet, evolution of consciousness off the planet, evolving into high dimensional structure on our return home to God's source. That would be what would naturally occur, but the 2012 alignment is a forced black hole alignment through the Mother Maya matrix, which has been bringing in codes of black hole alignment into the planet for many, many eons, and planet Earth has been coming into that alignment, and the people on the Earth have been doing the energies here, spinning their Merkabahs the wrong way, doing wrong teachings, and teaching wrong religious instruction, etc., etc., and causing people to actually anchor codes and tones and frequencies into the template of the Earth to make her come into disharmonic frequency and misalignment. So the people, being the guardians of the Earth, have been programming the Earth hologram unwittingly perhaps, and sometimes even wittingly, through intruder race line interference. So the Crystal River flow is currently coming in as a dual time wave, whereby the Christic frequencies The word Christ came from the word Christ, K-R-Y-S-T, or original 7 sound tones, K-R-Y-S-T-H-L, which is the 7 first sound tones of creation, which are Karaya-sa-ta-ha-la. They're the 7 sound tones of creation. That's the template of manifestation for all of creation in the cosmic structure. It's the Christ code, and that's where the word Christ came from. In the religious instruction of the Christian teachings, Christ became an external Messiah. In the Christic teachings, you are the Messiah. It's not Messiah, it's Mashaya. Mashaya is dimensional frequency, tonal signatures that invoke your 5th dimensional structure, which is a transcendent state of ascension. And the Mashayahana, would be your achievement of evolution of consciousness coming out of the matter manifestation templates into light and sound fields and into creative energy. It's a return to God's source. We came from God's source. We've all stepped down or fallen from the knowledge of the glory of God, and now on our return home we have a true pathway through some alignments that are coming back into the planet at this time, in this very devastating time of a black hole alignment at 2012, and the whole planet can feel it. Everyone on the planet can actually feel the devastation that's here. You just look around yourself and see what's happening with the war agendas, you know, what's happening with the United Nations, NATO, and all of those guys over there causing wars, you know, and the monetary extortion of money and extraction of energy, and all of the controls that are running this world as a Metatronic planet of death, you know. You can see it, just look around you, you know. Earthquakes, volcanoes going off everywhere. You look at, you know, what's happened in Japan when they dropped that atomic bomb under the ground and, you know, under the ocean, and caused that tsunami and all the radioactive stuff that's going there. You just look at what's happening around the place, and you'll find there's earthquakes, volcanoes, there's plagues and famines, there's droughts and floods, and there's everything happening here according to, well, the hologram that's being created by the mind of man. Remember, you create this earth. You're a co-creator with God. Everything you project and perceive is a creation of your own mind. You know, your hologram is your own control. If you sow the thoughts or seeds into the fields of consciousness, you're going to reap action on the stage of life according to what you sow. You're going to sow seeds of thought and corruption, you're going to see corruption. If your mind has been programmed by intruder race lines, what the Bible calls the powers and principalities and rulers of wickedness in high places, if your mind is corrupted and you're projecting those and perceiving those, that's your field of consciousness. You're planting seeds in the field and you're reaping it. You're reaping that destruction because you're supposed to be the guardian of the planet, regenerating the planet. But people have lost their true purpose and function, and they're under the control of the governments of dead men running the agenda of alien black hole Death Star Merkaba matrices infiltrating and siphoning the planet, you know. It's that's what's happening here. So it's up to you to sort of change your mind and say, hey, if I'm doing this, if I'm causing this, which you are, every one of you are causing the destruction on the earth because of the mind energies and because of the genetic coding and because of all the interfering energy fields that you hold within your own temple, your template, you're causing it. You're unwittingly causing it, and probably don't know why you're causing it or how you're causing it. You're not sure of the dynamics or the metaphysics that's causing the reality of your own hologram. It's time to decode from the black hole vortex energy codes that are inlaid into your anatomy through control matrices. You know, they spin the fields of your body the wrong way. The atomic structure of your body is diverting energy constantly into the black hole matrix. The way they do it was they pulled the Earth off a north-south axis and they tilted it 23.5 degrees. They tilted the Earth 23.5 degrees, right? And it causes a big elliptic, like an aerial, right at the top of the Earth. It's like a big electromagnetic aerial frequency vortex energy extension of whatever's been plundered from the atomic structure and the matter base of the planet, goes to the core, goes in through the center, flows up to the North Pole and into a radar, like a transmission tower, that flows our energy down a black hole vortex energy system into their matrix so that they can have us as food, right? So that they can have us as food. And that north-south alignment distortion is called the rod of Caduceus. And even if you look at your body, a lot of the ancient Egyptian Metatronic coding or the teachings of Egypt taught about the chakra system of the body, and how there was two serpents would rise up around the chakra systems and go across, like weaving across and around each chakra, and then down the top of into your head and back down and recirculate energy within your body. Well, that is the rod of Caduceus. That's a distortion field whereby the meridian lines of 11 and 12 dimensional frequency band, instead of connecting into God's source, would flow back into the body and create energy bands around the body that would hold you in a distortion field and a compaction, molecular contraction, and into a density and lack of communication. And that was all set in place through the distortion fields of the earth that were done through invader race lines, intruders, aliens, through hybridization and technology interference on the hologram of the earth. And not many people know about that. And they think that this earth is normal. This is how it's supposed to be. Oh, look at the lovely sunset. Oh, look at the wonderful things. Everything here is in a state of decay. Every atom has a half-life. Everything here dies. That's not natural. That's not organic. That's totally out of line with perpetual motion flows of eternal life. You know? It's not true. And so if you're going to realign yourself and overcome death in the body, you're going to have to get some flows back into your system that work and connect back into God's source and create perpetual motion life to create a hologram of expression which is eternal, you know. So I like to talk about these things more and more and more, because these are the distortions that are currently running your hologram of experience. You know, why do you come into fetal integration within the womb of your mother? You've inherited through one seed, the sperm and the ovum, as they came together and made one seed of union, and then they diversified and multiplied and replicated into a body of genetic inheritance. That body of genetic inheritance is the meat suit that you wear. It's like, that's the corruption, that's the distortion, that is the, you might say, the genetic coding of the minds of separation of all of your parentage that were fallen away from the knowledge of God. You've come into a body of death, and you've integrated your higher structure of, you might say, your spiritual anatomy has tethered together after a certain number of days into the fetus. It's tethered together into the atomic structure, and it started to bond together the integration of your higher dimensional structure into your body, so that you could actually incarnate. You know, the body is carnal. Carnate. It's like you're bringing into the body of carnality your spiritual reality to tether together so that you could overthrow and overwrite the corruption of the body. The reason you incarnated into a body, see, that's what happened with Jesus. He incarnated the word of truth. So he was born into fetal integration. He received the word of truth, that incorruptible, undefiled seed, into the womb of his own reality field. And he reconfigured his body into a body of life, a body of light and liberty, and he overcame death in the body and took his body up, into high dimensions. Well, you have the same potential here too. Once you align yourself with true flows, you can integrate the full multi-dimensional structure of your higher anatomy into the carnality and depravity of this body of death, and you can overwrite it and override it, and you can rewrite your book of life by the true coding and the true angular flows of communication within the structure of your temple. That's what you're here for. You're here to overcome death in the body. You're here to escape from this earth of unreality. Well, this world of unreality. This world is false. There's nothing true in this world whatsoever. It's all a projection of a mind of delusion and a shared confusion that's been implanted into the minds of men who are projecting this hologram of unreality. And we've bought into it. We've been born into it. You know, we've been born into it. And here we are in fetal integration, and we think that death is natural. Death's not natural. It's not life and death. Death is not a part of life. Death's got nothing to do with life. Life is true. Death is an unreality. You're going to live and die until you learn how to live. And that's what it's all about, you know. It's all about learning how to live, eternal life. Perpetual motion flows in the biological form that you can communicate with all of your higher dimensional structures and take your body up into higher evolutional cycles of consciousness and actualize experience. You know? So it's wonderful, and you're here. Jesus demonstrated it actually, and through that demonstration he showed us something quite marvellous. And of course all religions have taught us, you know, distortions to keep us under the control of the manipulators who have infiltrated all religions and all schools of education on the planet, so that we can continue to remain under the harness of extraction. So we would continue to be the givers of our life into the black hole matrix to sustain the invader race lines who have set up this industry within our earth here for eons of time. And so there you go. I'm just going to hand over the mic now, you guys. Anyone want to make a comment or something?